now. I'm taller than you. I hope they can't see that I'm sitting on this.
They can't tell.
Why do you say volume? Actually, we'll just talk about it.
Why do I say volume?
Alright. Hey guys, welcome to Coach's Corner. I'm Andy. Follow me at Train with Andy. This is Ash at Next Step Strength. Coach's Corner is a little series that Ash and I do where we take one topic and we talk about it, discuss it, give you some tips that you can use in your own coaching, in your own training, in your own programming that you can take away and either use or not use. And then
The choice.
you have the choice. Yeah, the choice is really up to you. On today's episode, we're going to talk about
Like individualizing your program and where to start when changing it to a more individualized program.
So the first thing I would do if you are on a program is write your name on it. That's the first step to individualizing it.
It's yours now. It is no longer a template. It is your program.
That's it.
Charge $200 a week, PayPal.
Yeah. Oftentimes what you can do as well is if you steal free programs from other people, you can also charge for them.
Yeah, just like if they have a watermark on it, completely ignore it. That's not an issue. If you have it on your Instagram, that's yours.
You saw that
Catalyst one.
Yeah, Catalyst.
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention. I was just like,
I can't believe that that's something people do. Like, it's so easy to just like change one or two things and
just like, I'm pretty sure it was a PDF.
Yeah.
So you could like literally just like copy text, open Word, paste. Like, and you're done. It would, no one's going to be like, after that, it's just like one step removed from being an absolute piece of shit. It's like, you're still an absolute piece of shit. At least we don't all like see it so transparently.
It's just Catalyst.
It's just Catalyst, just like, yes.
All right, so once you've changed the name on your program though, the next step is to think about what is the most important thing that you need to change to make the program suit you. Because you can actually get a lot better in your lifting, whether you're doing strongman, weightlifting, CrossFit, powerlifting, on a general templated program.
Definitely.
So the first thing that I would change would probably be exercise selection.
Yep.
Choosing exercises that suit both your strengths and your weaknesses.
Definitely. I think finding your strengths and weaknesses, but also seeing what the template's intention is. So if you see the program and it's a powerlifting program and it has high bar back squats, and you're like, I don't really feel high bar back squats that well. I like my low bar, but front squats as well, I can feel them even better than high bar back squats. Probably in the intention for the high bar back squats in the program is want to build some quads. That would be a good substitute, or maybe safety bar squats, like the exercise selection, but have the intention of mind of the original program. That's another way to make it the most of the template program. Change it according to its intention, but like within what works better for you. And also like equipment. Like if it says safety squat bar in this template program, you don't have a safety squat bar. Like think of it, the intention is like, it's so, maybe they're using it so people don't tip over and a bit of quad development. Google that, high bar back squat, high bar pause back squat maybe, replace.
Yeah. And I guess the other thing is like making sure as well that you don't swing too far each way.
Yeah.
A lot of people will be like, I'm just going to hammer my weaknesses for 12 weeks. And then they just end up depressed.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to feel better if you are not training things that make you feel good.
Yeah.
If you suck at bench and you're like, you know what, I'm really good at deadlifts, so I'm just not going to do deadlifts for 12 weeks. You're not going to finish off very well in a powerlifting program.
You're not going to be happy. So that's just why, like, follow the template and, like, see what its intention is. And, like, yes, you should, like, tailor it towards what will give you the best bang for your buck in a total, which typically is, like, shore up your weaknesses, but, like, there's a limit. And it's like in this, the reason you're doing a templated program rather than a coach's thing is so you have more of a generalized approach. So if you're going, okay, I'm going to do a template program, and then I'm going to change everything to suit my needs. And it's like, just get a coach if that's the case.
Yeah, and I mean, if you are a coach and you are writing like a team program
Yeah.
that you divvy up and then you, I guess, modify things per athlete,
Yep.
you already know what the intention is of the block or
Exactly.
training program. So you would just change exercises to suit the needs
That
of the
sit within the
individual.
parameters of those.
Exactly. So I guess what the next thing you would change for yourself or for your athletes, what would you manipulate?
Probably the amount of work done. So if you're doing, so the overall volume, let's just count it in sets though. So the sets per exercise would be the main thing I would change per individual.
Don't we just do 3 sets for everything?
You do 3 sets for everything, and then if you want to go do a little bit more volume, it's 4, bit lighter, bit of a deload, 2.
Yeah.
That's the greatest approach. Everything else is just made up.
So
Actually doesn't exist.
So we know that manipulating the amounts of sets or even sets over a week are going to be have pretty big impacts on how easily you get better. One, you're manipulating volume, and then second is you're manipulating frequency.
Yep.
Right? So a bench press, for example, someone might be able to get better by just doing it twice a week.
Yeah.
But then someone else,
Yeah, is it twice a week, and then how much within those 2 days? So let's just say we have this template program, you're benching twice a week, and it says 3 sets for both. Okay, but what if you're a 50 kilo female that has a relatively weak bench? The 3 sets might be not stimulative enough to actually, you might not even be hitting your minimum effective volume. So you're just like, what are you actually doing? Maintenance volume? Your maintenance volume is probably 2 sets, so you're probably just flushing away 4 sets per week and actually not getting anywhere. So maybe you need to bump it up to 6 sets for those 2 days, and then once you get to 6 sets, that's when you increase frequency. Same thing, if you're in a program that says 4 times per week for squatting, but you're squatting 300 kilos, and you're like, maybe you need to dial it back because you can only recover from 7, maximum recoverable volume 12 sets per week. So it's 3 sets, but then you're dead for the next week. Maybe you need to dial back the frequency, and then do back to the perfect amount, 3 sets per session.
And then the other thing is the higher level of skill that an exercise requires, as well as your training age, can sometimes be a big factor in how much frequency you need, right?
Yeah, definitely. And also the type of exercise you're doing.
So a snatch, for example, requires potentially a high level of frequency if you have a low training age.
Yeah, and especially because your skill curve will just diminish so quickly, but you're pretty strong and you're doing a deadlift, you could probably deadlift once every 9 days and not have an issue.
Maybe some people deadlift once every 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not a problem, right?
Yeah, it won't drop off. That's what they can recover from.
Yeah. Okay, so what would the next thing after that be?
So we've got exercise selection, then
Yeah.
we're doing sets within an exercise, and then also the frequency, that's what was previously stated, per week. From there, you could probably change intensity, but I think we're getting into the lower impact things for your templated program. Once you've done those first 3, I think you're getting 80 to 90% of what you can for an individualized template.
Yeah. So if we're going to go into intensity, then what we would be focusing on within that individual's, strengths and weaknesses and capacities would be what are they actually capable of doing day to day?
Yep.
What are they capable of improving over a block? And what are they capable of recovering from?
Yeah, I
when
think
we
the
talk to
recovery one is key. So
Yeah.
if you're, especially a template program, since it's a piece of paper and it's not going to reply back to you, if the first week it feels like you've done nothing, maybe you should increase the weight a bit. If you barely survived the first week, you need to dial it back a bit. A lot of that will be taken care of within the volume, but sometimes some people don't respond well to high intensity training, and you're doing a high intensity template, dial it back a couple of percent.
Yeah. Well, we know from programming for me that I very much do not do well with high intensity
No, not at all.
programming. And then On top of that, we know that my first week of a program, when there's some sort of novel stimulus, is like a crash and dive. But we know week 2, I just bounce back up.
Yeah. So that's the thing, like with a templated program and individualizing, you need to have all these things and take these things into consideration, but also just do it and take notes along the way, because the next time you do a template and you jump from this template to another one, you have those notes of like, okay, last program had 14 sets of squats, death. Down to 10, good, made progress. This one has 30 sets of squats, I don't know how I'm going to do this. Like, take those notes and that will help you individualize each time you go around.
Yeah, that's awesome. Guys, I hope that helped you sort of on the right track of individualizing a templated program if that's what you're following. The next step from there would be to like play with the actual repetitions and stuff. And once you do that, you've basically just rewritten the whole thing.
Yeah, just start writing your own programs at
Yeah.
that point. But that's the thing as well, like if you're going through this process and individualizing, taking apart templated programs to learn how to program for yourself, it's pretty viable.
Yeah, I mean, I still somewhat do that in day-to-day life. Like I will look at a program, be like, wow, these are some interesting characteristics of it.
Yeah.
It follows a interesting story
Yep.
in how it progresses week to week. And I'll learn from that and I will use that, test it out, experiment. If it works well with athletes, I will keep it. If
Yeah.
it doesn't work well, then I will throw it away.
Exactly, learn.
Learning. That's all it is. Guys, I hope you found that helpful. If you did, please consider giving it a share. If you have any questions, leave them below. And if you like what you see and want to see more, please consider subscribing. You can follow Raw Barbell Club at Raw Barbell Club on all of our social medias. So that's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, wherever. And you can follow Ash at Next Step Strength and me at Train with Andy. Thank you guys for listening.